And we are live.
Woo.
Got the IFC MidKnights together, minus Patrick tonight. He said he was going to sit this one out, but we're going to have a good discussion, I think, about this movie, The Damned from 2013. Evidently, if you don't have it on physical, it is a little bit harder to find streaming. So, uh, but it,
I'm sure it'll get on Tubi or something soon.
yeah, I would think so. Yeah, it's 2013. Also goes by the name Gallows Hill. Um, and this
What
one
year
was
was this one?
2013,
Oh shit.
and it was directed by Victor Garcia's first movie I've seen of his that he's done. Peter Block produced it, uh, and yeah. I guess we'll get some of the opening thoughts. I thought it was decent. I know IMDb has it at about a 5.2, so um, it's it's kind of a, I don't know, I guess you call it a type of possession movie. Um, but let's go get some opening thoughts here before we jump into it. What about you, Mary? What do you think about
Yeah, I liked it. I like the ghost movies and the spirits, the brujas,
it? Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah, it's pretty neat. It was in Colombia, right?
Yep.
Is that where they
Set
were?
and filmed in Colombia.
Wow. Jeez. Good stuff. Bring your water.
Oh yeah.
Bring your
They provided their own water in the movie.
I bet.
Right. A lot of it too.
So did you?
What about you, Ben? What do you think about it?
I liked the setup for it, and I thought there it felt like there was a good amount of potential for it, but then I think it fell a little flat in the resolution for me personally.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't. I'm like you. I kind of like the way it's set up, but it was just on that tail end of it. I don't know. Yeah, it just didn't end quite the way I thought it was going to. I
Yeah,
guess.
definitely have questions about the characters in there.
Mm-hmm.
Just wandering.
Yeah. But it definitely, one thing is you start out thinking these characters are maybe one way, and then you maybe find out they have, like all of us, I guess, when maybe we have things we might be hiding that others don't know. Uh, that in this situation got brought to light. Uh, but yeah, I guess we can go ahead and just start talking about it. Peter Fasinelli plays David Reynolds, and we kind of get the opening scene there where he's dreaming about someone. It was his wife, Marcella, I believe was her name. But it's
On
almost
life
like a night.
support, right?
Yes, yeah, she's on life support, and it almost seems you can't really tell if this was just a dream or a nightmare because it almost seems like she's saying like, "Why didn't you do something?" or what was it? Something like, "Why didn't you do something? Why didn't you help me?" I'm trying to remember the exact line she said there, but of course he wakes up startled, and he's got Lauren, his fiance, uh, laying next to him. Um, and of course, we see him go out and take a picture. He's a photographer, so we learn that about him, and I think that's kind of how they met, was somewhere through the photography or whatever. But he is in Colombia to find his daughter, to, I guess, talk her into coming to his wedding because she's kind of not really been approving of that situation. Was the impression I got.
The money grubber, or whatever they call her.
Right? Yeah. It
I think
was.
she's after his money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it's what I don't from her perspective as a child who lost her mother, she doesn't want to see that role replaced with someone, regardless of who it is or anything. Is sort of how I felt about it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's something, I guess. I went, well, when my parents were alive. I lost my mother first. my dad did remarry, and it was different. It was odd, but I, at the age I was when it happened, it wasn't like I was a younger kid. So to me, it was easier to accept because you're mature and you understand the situation a little bit better. But it is odd because it's you're used to your mother being there, and so yeah. Um,
Yeah, that's the only parent I have left is my stepfather.
okay, yeah.
He's down here with us.
Mm-hmm.
So, we keep an eye on them. No matter
Yeah.
if they're step or real or half or heck yeah.
That's right. Family's family.
Uh-huh.
But we also meet Gina, who's a TV reporter. That's also his former sister-in-law that's down there, and Ramon is her cameraman. And Ramon happens to be in a relationship with Jill, the daughter that David is coming to see. So we kind of meet them in a little scene where she's doing it was like an on the scene report, I guess. He was recording some footage for her, and then they end up meeting up with her dad, and
At the restaurant or something.
Yes, and pretty much he's like, "Hey, you're coming with me." She's saying she won't stay there because she tells him that's her boyfriend, and he's kind of like, "Yeah, I don't know about this guy, whatever," but he pretty much insists that she's going to come back with him, and that's when it kind of sets things in motion because she says, "Well, my passport's not here. I left it in is it Medellin? Is that how you say it?"
I think so.
And so they're going to have to travel there to get it.
Somebody like you always, when you're not from that country, you keep them on you. I don't think it's a good idea not to have your shit with you.
Right. Yeah, that was one thing I didn't get because I would think that you'd have to have it pretty much wherever you go, just in case someone were to ask law enforcement or whatever. But
you probably don't want it 6 hours away, though. That's for sure. Either way.
Definitely.
Well, like that's not really good. Like, why do you leave it so far?
Yeah. And so David's, of course, a little perturbed by this, but he's like, "Okay, well, we're going to go." And he's basically wanted to part ways with the boyfriend, but she's like, "No, I want Ramon to go with us." So
they're all Ramon to come with us.
Yes, yeah. So they load up and take off, and we start to see a familiar thing, pouring down rain, torrential downpours, whatever you're going to say. That's kind of happens for pretty much the rest of the movie, I would say.
It's raining in the rainforest. No way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And trashes the road.
Now this is a part I don't know. Like, I guess when they get to where the policeman, Captain Morales, pulls them over, and he's like, "Hey, you don't need to go this way. There's floods and I think he says mudslides too." And he says basically you need to turn around and go get on one of the main roads because this was more of like a side road or whatever to get them to where they were going. And his sister-in-law Gina was like, "No, don't listen to him. I know these roads. We're gonna keep going." And I don't know. I probably would have been like, "Yeah, I think it will turn around because
yeah." I mean, he was like stressed about them getting there and back to get the passport so they can make the flight or whatever. So maybe that played into his.
That's true. He's like, "We're gonna miss our flight if we don't get it." You're right. I forgot about that.
Now, what did y'all think about David and Gina's relationship? Do you think they kind of liked each other, didn't like each other? I really couldn't tell much at the beginning.
The Gina was the daughter, or no?
No, Gina was the sister-in-law, the one that basically said the cop doesn't know what he's talking about.
I think he's like she's trouble for his kid because she was probably in trouble before. So now she's gonna get her daughter in trouble. I don't know. Other than that, no sexual tension.
Well, I just didn't know, like, if there was any feelings about, having her sister that died, like if she felt that he was in any way, like that he didn't do something or didn't get her the care she needed. That was what I was wondering, but
It didn't really feel like that to me, you know.
Yeah, me
I
either.
feel like she was blaming him or holding like, a lot of hostility towards him or anything, or being like that aggressive. It just seemed like it seemed more like she was, they had a common bond and that they both cared about his daughter or whatever.
Yeah. And there was Jill, they did seem a little bit of conflict there, but I think it just had a lot to do with she didn't really, I think what we already discussed, that she didn't really like Lauren and didn't want him to get married to her. But anyhow, they go along and, basically what the cop told them about ends up happening. It's like a influx of water. They kind of lose control. He's trying to get things. Does the car stop? I'm trying to remember. He's trying to get it started back.
Yeah, it's sort of like they said he said they have to get out and push. So my feeling was it was stuck in the mud.
It gets stuck, and then basically we get another influx of water that starts the car tumbling, to which they crash with it upside down, have to get out. And that's when they come to the realization that Lauren has been injured, and they at that point have got it. Like, I thought he was going to be a little upset, like that David was going to be like, way to go, you guys keep coming this way. Now we've done wrecked the car to Gina, but he didn't. He was more or less like, let's stay calm, let's get her somewhere she can get help. And that's when they start making their way to
because there's lots of places up there in Colombia rainforest. They're just lucky they found what they found, I guess, or unlucky.
Yeah. And they come upon this inn that's kind of out to itself, and they're just trying to get in there, knocking on the door. Of course, they're having to speak in the native language, and there's some subtitles in this movie you have to read as well. But Felipe comes to the door, and he doesn't want to let them in. But he's like, please, I've got my daughter here. My fiance, she's been injured. We just need help. And so the whole family thing clicks with him, and he decides to let them in against his better judgment. And so, but he's the whole time, I guess y'all probably know as well, but like he kept staring at Jill, the daughter. And of course, I was just like, why does he keep staring at her specifically? And then it starts to make a little bit more sense. Yeah, it starts to make a little bit more sense as the movie goes along. But
I mean, to be honest, though, like she didn't look like she was younger than anyone else, and he definitely didn't look like he was old enough to be her father to me.
Right.
They all look like they were pretty much the same age. You know what I mean?
Yes, I agree.
Which was kind of weird casting, I thought. But
I thought she might have been a little bit younger, but I guess whole with her having the relationship with Ramon, I guess she had to be a little bit older. But
I mean, I think they said she was 18. Which means like, yeah, theoretically he could have been 36. It might have worked out that way. It just didn't look like there was a lot of age separating all of them. She looked younger than his prospective wife, or like his like fiance or whatever, but like it didn't really feel like generations, you know what I mean? Like I went to look at her and been like, oh, that's clearly his daughter if I was Felipe or whatever.
Yeah
Maybe that's why he's looking at him.
I guess I just I just thought like he was giving a very gruff look, but I guess maybe that was just part of the character because there was no one else at this end. So, but he does tell them. Felipe says, "Don't leave the lobby." Like basically, like he brings them towels to dry off, but he's like, "You have to stay right here. Don't go anywhere else." I guess in the end, so it's not like he's going to fix them up a room or anything. He's trying to, I guess, get the point through to them. This is short term. Like I'm just letting you sit here for a minute, but you're not going to be able to stay here, basically.
Yeah, but they asked to get some firewood and shit, right?
Right. Well, yeah. Naturally, he says for them not to go anywhere, so they go somewhere.
They all split into different rooms. Like, oh my god, people.
Yeah. Let's see. I think Jill needs to go to the bathroom. So
Right. That was their first move out.
Mm-hmm. And then
and looking for a phone too. I think they're peeking around looking for another phone.
Yeah, they asked him if he has a cell phone or a landline. He says no cell phone, no landline. He says basically there's nothing there. But through their peeking around, they see there is a phone, and that the phone line appears to have been cut. And
no one's been there since 1978.
Yep. They found the guest book, and it had been 30 years since someone has stayed at the inn. Which definitely does seem odd, as big as that building was.
It looked like it was in pretty good shape, too. It didn't look all dilapidated or anything.
Right.
But,
some OxyClean.
It could also, like, be that they're looking at an old-ass book, not like the most current one or whatever. It's sort of
that's true.
Mm-hmm. And like the phone lines being cut feels like the filmmakers wanted to try to bring in some tension. Like, ooh, so what's going on here? Why were they cut? But like, honestly,
go down there, I'm gonna hook the wires back up.
From if no one had been there from like 1976, and he was trying to stay like station. Why would he cut the lines rather than just remove the phones and throw them away or some shit? It's weird.
Right.
Like, how lazy do you have to be? Like, oh, I'll just cut it, I guess, and leave it there.
Yeah.
For 3 decades.
Bend over to unplug it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, it's weird.
He's got a bad back.
Yeah, I don't want to pick up that whole phone.
Yeah. And when Jill's in the bathroom, she ends up hearing a noise. Sounds like a voice of some sort calling. And so Felipe kind of surprises her. There's like a little bit of a, I don't know if you call it a jump scare, but like, he comes in there and she says, "Hey, I'm hearing someone. Sounds like they may be in like the lower floor, the basement." And so they go down there to check. And sure enough, there's a hole in the wall, and she sees that there's someone being held down there. And she tells her name. Her name's Anna Maria, and that does she tell him she's the daughter of Felipe? I can't remember if she.
No, I think she doesn't say anything.
They just assume, I think.
Because no, they don't even find out. They assume that he's a pedo, is what they assume, and that he's got some random girl locked in the basement. Like, we don't find out that they're related till like way later, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I don't think she had told him right away that she was his daughter, but anyhow, so they're then surprised by Felipe, who has a gun on him, and basically, like, I told you to stay in the lobby. You're not supposed to be down here. And he's saying, I think he said they know too much, and it's seeming like he's got the drop on him there. And then David comes to the rescue and knocks him out.
I guess also we didn't mention, but earlier Felipe grabbed her rosaries and said, "This won't save you." So there's some foreboding like already built up from our viewer perspective.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, Jill was definitely she's well, I mean, she had noticed him noticing her prior to that, yeah. So I think she had a real uneasy feeling. And of course, when they found Anna Maria, like you said, I guess she was thinking, "Oh, he's just picking up young girls or something." Uh,
Yeah, that's why they were thinking he kept looking at the daughter. It's like, next perspective.
I feel
mhm.
like they could have the setup was good so far. You have like a small group of people. You could have tension within the group, and then you put them in this like sort of spooky, isolated environment. And I feel like the filmmakers really should have like tried to play up the tension a lot more and the suspense than they did. I think there was like a missed opportunity there that would have made the film much better.
Yeah, and like, well, Felipe, I guess, not him, but I'm getting the names mixed up. But Ramon, yeah, we don't really know a lot about Ramon other than the daughter's met him while she's been over here. So I don't know if that said how long they've been dating or seeing each other, but
No.
he's definitely the outsider in the situation, I guess, as far as like the rest of the family dynamic there.
I got the feeling that what's her name knew him before though, the sister-in-law.
Gina.
Gina.
I had the
Yeah.
feeling like maybe they had been like long-term work friends or something.
Mm-hmm. Especially later on.
Mm-hmm. But they let Anna Maria out, and then they of course tie up Felipe, and then of course when he regains consciousness, he basically tells them, "You're all going to die." When they say they let Anna Maria out, and of course they're like, "What's he talking about?" They think he's nuts or whatever, and they're going to try to look. I think Ramon was going to go out and check to see if there was a car that they could leave in, uh, and that was I think that's right before all the shit hits the fan, I guess.
Yeah, because Gina goes down and films the room with the cameraman or somebody,
Mm-hmm.
a couple people, and then they leave the Lauren upstairs with the freaky bug covered kid. And I think she pulls shit when no one's looking then. To Lauren, like she's playing peekaboo or hide and seek on her,
Mm-hmm.
running around the house on her, right?
Kind of
Yeah,
doing that.
they're in the room too.
Yeah, she's doing that thing where you'll see her out of the corner of your eye, and then she goes to look, she's not there, and she's trying to. Yeah, that's where she locks her in, and then wasn't that also when she went and talked to Felipe and was basically taunting him?
That's right. That's why
Right.
she locked her up so she could go mess with him.
And so he's trying to pray, and of course, then you hear that I guess demonic voice to let you know, okay, well there was a reason he had her locked up after all, and that's when it starts to get a little bit more nefarious, things that are starting happening. I'm trying to remember who was
Ramon
it.
finds a car with no engine.
Yep.
So they can't take off in that thing.
I'm trying to see. I guess.
And then she's outside in the rain all of a sudden after she screws with the dad.
Anna Maria. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Gina finds her out in the rain. Like, what are you doing out there? And somebody let Lauren out of the room. I guess David found her upstairs or something. I don't know how I don't remember seeing when he took her out of the room, but I think that's who got her out.
They didn't really say anyone got her out. She just sort of came back on her own.
Okay. I was like, huh?
I'm trying to remember which happens first. Isn't Gina and Anne Marie talking before Felipe comes running in on everybody. I think.
Yeah, she's taping her. She's like all up in her face and shit. So how do you feel being locked in a hole?
Yeah, right.
What's your feelings?
And then
It's clearly like super exploitative. She's like, this could be therapeutic for her too.
Yeah,
She's
sure.
like, okay.
Sure it is. And that's when he comes busting through with the letter opener.
Yeah, he comes in and basically, I think it was Ramon that shoots him, right?
Yeah.
And
all right, Ramon.
And then they see that his wrists were already cut before he was shot. So I guess maybe he was hoping to find Anna Maria, maybe. I don't know, but I just wondered with the whole him cutting his own wrist before he went in there.
I feel like they were trying to use that as a mechanism to show that, to lend his character more sort of, I don't know, believability, that he was like, not just a crazy son of a bitch who was like trying to, just be crazy. Like he had a purpose. He wasn't just trying to kill people. He wanted to like do that as his final act or something. But it didn't exactly work for me in that sense, because like, why? I'm like, if you were gonna, why would you even slit your wrist first? Like, why not do it afterwards? Or
yeah,
like,
they're gonna come out. They're gonna shoot you, so they'll take care of it for you.
Right.
Yeah, like why if he's successful, why even kill yourself at all? Kind of weird, right?
Exactly. And I think
I guess it actually makes sense looking back at it in hindsight, because if he kills her, we don't know this yet, but if he kills her, she inhabits him, and if he's already dead or dying, then that's like there's nothing to inhabit. So maybe he wins in that way. I guess I didn't think about that till just now.
And I believe then it cuts back to Gina and Anne-Marie, and Anne-Marie she flips the script on her and starts asking her questions, dealing with a relationship she had.
About doing something to a baby or something.
Well, she basically lets her know, like, I know that you were pregnant with, was it her boss or some?
Yeah, it made it seem like it was the boss, yeah.
And that she decided to abort the baby because she was focused on her career and didn't want anything hindering her, I guess. And she doesn't know how Anne-Marie would know this. But then on her phone, then she starts to see, I guess, I guess it was implied it was the video of when they were doing the abortion, maybe, because
I don't know what was going on. She's like touching her stomach, and it was like, rear. I don't know what's going on.
Like, who records an abortion? I mean, come on.
I don't know.
Well, it was something I thought it was maybe they heard a baby cry. I'm not sure, but
yeah, I don't think they really did anything. It would have been better if it was maybe like an ultrasound, like an image of an ultrasound or something.
Or did she have the baby and ditch it?
Well, she said she murdered the baby, but I think like it seemed pretty clearly like it was an abortion thing to me, especially because she gets sort of like pregnant there, right?
Or her stomach went poofy.
Yeah. And then I believe David had went outside, and then Captain Morales comes up and is basically asking him to speak to Felipe. And of course, he doesn't speak. He only speaks English. He's like, he said, hold on, let's go in. We'll talk. My daughter can talk with you. And then that's when he basically finds out that they've released Anna Marie. And he's like, again, he's upset because he knows what she is. And he's basically telling them they messed up and wasn't he going to put them? He says he's going to put all them in that box where she was being held in the basement. I think, right?
Yeah, I got the feeling at some point like, oh, because you went into the box and came out, I know that you weren't possessed or whatever. But like, I don't really know how that would work. You know what I mean? Like, because she also went into the box as a possessed Brujah person and like came out and everything. So like, I don't know why he would gain any trust after doing that or use that for like a test. You know what I mean?
He went in there and got the pentagram off the wall.
Yeah, he did. He did like a rubbing of it, and then he touched someone with it to like, oh, if you were like whatever, it's like, okay, I guess I'll buy it. You know, whatever.
It's like a vampire in the cross touching him.
Yeah, but it was like it'd be like a rubbing of a cross. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah,
it'd be like touching someone with a picture of a cross. You know, like
dangerous.
Yeah, it might not be quite the same as an actual cross.
They go downstairs and find a picture before that too, don't they? With her like being older, like the little girl's like old.
I think that was afterwards when they're piecing everything together. Yeah.
Right.
But I think David ends up rushing Captain Morales to get the gun, knock the gun out of his hand, and I think Lauren picks up the gun, and so she's, they're trying to figure out like what's going on, and that's when he tells them that Anne Marie is a Brujah, basically a witch, or the spirit of the witch is inhabiting her, and that she can take over the body of anybody that she wants, but the body she's currently in, has to be killed. So basically, he's saying that they can't kill her because she'll just move to someone else.
Right.
And so I don't know if they believe him at first. That's all this sounds foreign to them, or at least to David it does. I don't know. I get, and is that when they find Gina and Anna Marie?
Well, they went upstairs to find a signal on a cell phone or something, right?
Because they find both of them laying out. Anne Marie's dead.
Creepy. She said she broke her neck on something.
Anne Marie's dead,
trying to seduce Ramon.
Oh no, that's later, Mary.
No, I was just talking about when they first found Gina, because she's there. She's got blood on her.
That's right. She was in the kitchen.
But Anne Marie's dead, and so
she says like, "Oh, I got tased."
That's an electric shock.
Yeah, it was weird. I don't know. Someone killed her and then tased me or something. I don't know. Hard to say. I was like, okay.
Let's see. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I think after that, after they find her, Ramon goes in there. I guess he finds Gina, because that's when she starts, basically saying she knows about him, what his secret is.
Well, I think like Gina's not in with what was the kid's name?
Anna Marie.
Yeah, so she's not in there, and then Morales is like, "Oh, that's not your friend anymore. Now that's possessed by the witch or whatever." And then we switch. Oh, I'm gonna go get a signal. She's outside, and then she breaks the phone, right? Like on accident, and that's That's when she starts like talking about that dude just randomly being a serial killer out of the blue.
Yeah.
He has these people be mules, and then the drugs bust open in their stomachs.
Is that what it was? They didn't. I didn't really. I guess that makes sense.
And then that's why their stomachs were. That's why they were bleeding, because I think the drugs broke open.
I didn't get I didn't. I mean, that makes sense to me. I didn't get the mule connection.
And they were like bleeding. So then that's when she made him bleed. That's what they felt when they were dying. She
was giving him a taste of his own medicine.
Yeah.
whatever it was. I don't know. Whatever he made a mule carry in there. Guts.
That's when he breaks her neck, or he thinks
Yeah,
he,
on the
he
chair
thinks
or something.
he thinks she's completely dead, but she ends up coming back after him. That's when we see the whole demon mode where she gets like really dark and like yelling, screaming at him, and that's when he shoots Gina, the witch in Gina, and then that's when where she passes to him at that point.
That's right. Now he's the Bruja.
So it's not looking good
or Broha
for the rest of them.
Why do you think the filmmakers did that when they could have just had him break her neck and transfer that way? Like, why did she get up from a film?
She didn't do the pop and lock.
You think yeah, but she's not like supernatural in the sense that she's like can just like set her neck or anything. Like, you know, she's mortal. That's how she like. So why would they bring her back just to have her get killed in a different way? Seemed weird.
Yeah, it did seem a little weird because I thought once, pretty much getting your neck broke, I don't think you could really come back from that.
I think Ramon used her like a puppet. Like, yeah, you know. Hey,
oh yeah, that was. Was that when? Was it Jill that was in the looking out the window at her
doing something?
Yeah.
Getting ice for Lauren's ribs.
Yeah, that whole busting her head through the window, and, like you said, using her as a puppet. That was wild.
Somehow like mimicked her voice too. They didn't really like say that she had that power or anything, but when she was him, he could do like a perfect, you know, like version of her voice for some reason.
Yeah, and I don't know if they stay like if this witch like she is more powerful than another witch or what, but I mean it seems like a pretty powerful thing to be able to have all these powers that she has. But I'm trying to remember.
And then the cop shoots Ramon or something.
He says they need to wound Ramon, but not kill him.
Yeah,
right.
The leg.
So that way they can get him into the box. They keep saying they'll get him into the box and lock him up. Of course, that doesn't work out, and they ends up. I think was it Lauren that I'm trying to. No, I'm getting too far ahead of myself because I think it's David's that they get in the car. They're going to leave. That's what it was.
And then he like jumps them inside the car or something.
Yeah, Morales tells them they need to get out of there, and that he'll try to take care of them, whatever. But yeah, he ends up attacking him in the car.
And he handcuffs him to the steering wheel.
Yeah, Lauren handcuffs him. They get out, and of course that plan might work, but then it starts to go in the water, and then of course if he drowns, then he's just going to go into one of them. So,
but would he though? Like if it's actually like someone kills him, what happens if he just dies like accidentally, like of drowning?
Natural causes. It goes to the next person in the
He
final.
tells David, he's like, "I'll see you soon."
He does, and the implication is that it's going to be his fiance, and in fact, it is, right? But like, why is it? Like just from a logic perspective.
Yeah, because it was something about burning the witches back in the day, and none of these people had anything to do with burning the witches.
Well, yeah, that's incidental, though. I mean, the mechanism is still the same or whatever as it always has been. Where, like, if you kill her, then she dies and inhabits your body, and that's like how she's transferred.
So David tells him he's got to get him out of the car, so he goes in to save him. save Ramon, the witch, and then gets him out there. But then Lauren ends up killing him, and at which point the witch jumps into her body. And then he's like, well, now what are we going to do? And then she starts revealing David's secret
Right.
right there in front of Jill, the daughter, basically saying that he turned off Marcella's life support, but she just didn't die. He basically he caused it. And of course, Jill's like, "Is this true?" And
Yeah, said she wouldn't die fast enough.
right,
Which
but he's like basically like he tries to avoid answering the question. He's like, we got to get her back to the house, and so they get Lauren back there, and
she chomps on Morales' face, don't she? She's like,
yes, she bites a chunk out of his face while they're trying to restrain her, and then she takes off.
They don't put any pressure on that thing. They're like, just okay, you're done.
He's just steadily flowing out of that.
I don't think you're gonna die from a bite to the face, though.
No, you put some. It was clean bad. Put some pressure on it.
Yeah, it wouldn't seem like that's a major artery place area to bleed out, but yeah, he was like David saying, surely there's got to be a way we can cure Lauren, because he tells him, no, you got to lock her up forever, and he doesn't want to do that.
Yeah, they go hiding downstairs, right? Jill and David are trying to hide from her.
Yeah, I guess they're trying to lure her down there is the plan, and then they can get her into the box. But of course, she ends up saying she tells him she'll let Jill live if he'll sacrifice himself. The witch tells him that, of course. Of course, we have no reason to believe that they'll actually do that. I mean, it's just kind of like you think an evil being is going to tell you whatever to get you to do what they want you to do. But then she changes her appearance to look just like Marcella. But then she starts cutting on herself, I think.
Yeah, her face, like cut her lip. A big old knife.
And so he's like thinking, well, if she kills herself, then, or if I kill myself, then hopefully this will save my daughter.
Yeah, he was gonna shoot himself.
He's pretty much going to do it, and that's when Jill comes in and shoots. I forget the name. Lauren shoots Lauren. And at that point, we pretty much know what's going to happen. She's going to go into Jill, and she's saying, "You got to lock me up." And he's like, he doesn't want to do it. And it's pretty much he's put in the same position that Felipe was in with his daughter. And again, I don't know. What do you think about that, Ben? It's just kind of convenient, I guess.
They kind of flubbed that whole ending. I mean, I feel like the movie really should have been about them, about the tension of the group in an enclosed environment, and they should have played it more like The Thing, where you don't know who is actually possessed, you know. But maybe you have like the written, the rubbed pentagram witness test that you can perform, but like,
right.
I think they should have played it for more tension and suspense than they did, and like ultimately at the end, I think it would have been a better ending if he actually did just kill himself. You know what I mean? It would have had much more impact.
Could have clicked away at her having a normal life, just walking around, but kind of.
Right, and that's the way I thought it was going.
I'm evil and I'm out.
I mean, they probably should have, but instead he's like, and now she's in the box, and I'm never gonna stop finding a way to get her out. It's just like, okay, are you
It
like trying
started
to
with
set up a
secret.
sequel, or like I feel like they didn't need to. They didn't need. It was just a little extra.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the way it had been told to him is that there's not a way to save them once the witch is in them. I mean, it's pretty much
you're
she'll be in them
toast.
till they're dead, and then she'll just move to someone else. So I don't know why
her whole like thing anyway. Like Morales was dead already, right? So that was the last like
he
living
bled
relative
out from his face wound.
Yeah,
as you do, those ruthless cheek wounds.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know why in all those years that, like, you would think could exorcism not work in a thing like that, since it's a witch, not necessarily a demon. I don't know. I mean, she made the whole thing about, she said she didn't like him praying. Basically, that praying wasn't going to help.
Well, there's also like the opening scenes is like all these like historic images of this box and like some entity thing in it or something like through history. So like if there's like a solution to like box a possessed witch person, like that's really the only way to deal with it. There's no like, like you were saying, exorcist type of ritual. Seemed weird.
Yeah. But I did this, like you said, it almost seemed like they were trying to set up for another one, which wasn't really necessary in this case. So,
yeah.
Yeah,
he's stuck there now.
I mean, it's kind of they just, I think, they wanted to kind of bring it full circle to Felipe and his daughter, that situation, but it just kind of didn't quite work. It was a little anticlimactic. Like the proper climax, as far as like to punctuate the actual story they were telling, I feel like would have been for him to have killed her, and then before she was able to like inhabit him, or while she was inhabiting him or something, for him to like commit suicide.
Yeah.
Or even if like there was a moment when she was laying dying, and like he had to talk the daughter into killing him before she got in or something. I don't know. They could have done it different. It just seemed weird and a little clumsy that to have like a little epilogue too, where he was like, and now I'm here and I'm never going to stop finding a way. It's just like, okay, it's weird way to end.
Yeah. All I was thinking is, well, the first thing you're going to have to do is learn how to speak the language of the people, because you have no one there to translate for you anymore.
Right.
He kept on saying, I don't know how to speak the language.
Well, he also has no phone in which to call them, and no farm, no crops, no like, I don't know how he's just like magically surviving all this time. I guess maybe Morales was bringing him some groceries or something.
I don't know.
It had to be the spirit of Morales.
Yeah, but it pretty much cuts to the credits at that point. So
Finn, the end.
Yeah. So I guess we'll get everybody's kind of grades or vote on what you would rate this one yourself. Like I said, they gave it a 5.2 on IMDb, so that's about.
I like a 6.5. Right? Cause I like you said, I like the story where it was going. It's just the end, and some parts got a little confusing, but that's all. I liked it for the most part.
Okay.
Yeah, I felt like the screenplay had potential, but the execution of the screenplay was a little flawed. Because I like the setup, but I think they didn't really play it for enough tension or suspense. I feel like they should have that would have been better, but it was a little too straight plotting ahead, and then at the end it took a little too many weird jagged turns. I don't know. I guess 5.5 seems about accurate. Just as far as like if 5 is 5 seems like pretty harsh in general. Like if but really, is it? I mean, if it's halfway between really sucking and being super excellent, I mean, that's
Right.
think
Yeah,
about where
that's what I
it's.
gave it. I had a few moments I liked in it, so I was like, yeah, I'll give it a 6.5.
Yeah.
Like you said, 5. It's kind of like,
Well, initially I was going to give about a 5.5, but then I watched the on the disc. If you get it, it has a making of segment. I did watch that. Of course, they used practical effects on this, and they talked about how the set design, how they before they came in, they basically took everything from the script and tried to make that end look exactly like they wanted it or they had it in the script. So there was a lot of work went in there, and of course the whole rain effects, everything they did. So I would say I give it at least a 6.5 after that. But so they kind of show a little bit of the behind the scenes there. But yeah, it was a decent one. But like I said, the kind of ending is where it fell short.
Actually, when they showed Gina, she had a cheek wound as well, right? She had like her jaw was exposed, so that's like
Yep.
seemed to be
in her boobie.
Yeah, well, yeah, she was.
She's like, kapow.
She was showing the goods to him, yeah. But yeah,
Watch out.
that was pretty good. Who's next up on the?
I don't know.
I believe that's.
list?
I think it's me. I think
Okay.
we're
I
gonna
think it is you.
We're gonna get right into it and do When Evil Lurks.
Oh, nice. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
that is definitely.
That's going to be an interesting conversation.
Woo.
No
yeah,
doubt.
I see
That
clips
is...
like holy shamale. We'd have to get with Patrick of what his IFC thing is.
It's a good movie.
I really enjoyed it. Like it took a like at first I was like, it says it was going to be, having to read subtitles a lot. I mean, I don't typically like a lot of movies like it, but I was like, it didn't really even bother me like it, the way it flowed. So yeah, we definitely will have a good discussion about that one. It was everything. Like,
yeah. There's like I think there's one particular. I mean, it's a brutal movie, but there's like one particular scene that is brutal as fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll be a good one. So
that'll be the 30th of June.
Available on Shudder to stream if you have Shudder, and if not, then you can pirate it or buy it. I think
I'll find it somewhere. The 30th, he said. Do you think?
Yep, that'll be the 30th at 7, I guess, or 8 East, whatever your time zone is, on Ben's channel, Cadaver Club.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure Patrick will be back with us for that. And we thank everybody who's checked in with us. And I guess that's right. We got to talk about the channel. I'm about to rush off.
There you go. You get in there. See the bug.
That is excellent.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Have you seen Slugs? Have you guys watched?
Yes. I really enjoyed that one.
Did you?
I didn't think it was dumb. I like how they kind of what is that one? There's one scene where they're outside, and I think the slug kind of bites at the guy, like when he tries to makes a chomp noise or something. That part was kind of funny, but yeah, I like it.
This one from Zombie.
Zombie, yeah.
With the
nice,
shark attack and the zombie in the water.
That's great work.
Thank you. It's fun.
You have anything you want to promote, Ben, for your channel?
No, I keep thinking maybe I'll make videos or something, but I haven't.
Yeah,
I watched like a Dr. Wolfula. You guys ever watch him?
I've heard of the name.
He's got a really cool channel, but I watched his like Halloween ranking the other day, and I was like, maybe that'd be cool to do like a ranking video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I watched Human Centipede.
classic.
I watched that with my son. We were like, oh my God.
That was one of the first movies we discussed.
Oh man.
The IFC stuff.
And I watched Late Night with the Devil.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
one too.
That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. I saw where Umbrella's doing a release of that one.
Yeah, I pre-ordered it. I was like, should I get the one with the TV guide? Because like I always go for the deluxe shit, but then I was like, do I really just need more shit laying around? So I went for the
Yes.
cheaper one.
Yeah.
I know. I have like the whole like this is art set. You know, I know you have it too, Hoss, but I got
Yes.
got like sunglasses and all sorts of shit, and I'm like, fuck.
Right.
When, like Umbrella, they did the hold on, let me go grab it.
Okay.
They did this release, Razorback, which is a really nice set. But they had like one that was this, but then it was also came with like a t-shirt and a little action figure and like all this shit. And I was like, fuck. And I got the Talk to Me one too with the hand, but I already had the A24 hand, and I was like, without that, because I'm in an apartment, have some limited space, but
yeah, I have the older Umbrella Blu-ray release of Razorback, but I forget what that series was. They had the different Blu-rays in, but
dude, this fucking thing is 4K, but the 4K is region B.
Oh wow!
Isn't that weird? It's region locked, even though it's 4K.
Yeah, usually they're all region when they do the 4K.
Yeah, it was like a weird controversy on this particular set, and I was like, fuck. So I haven't even watched this movie yet. I never saw it, and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna get it. It looks beautiful, beautifully shot, way better looking than it should for a fucking pig movie. But then like I went to put it in, I was like, what the hell, dude? And I haven't watched it because I have a region free player and I have a 4K player, but they're not the same. I can't watch
I got you.
A region 4K. So
yeah, I had got, like I said, the Umbrella, and then of course Scream Factory ended up releasing just kind of a bare bones release of Razorback on Blu-ray again. But yeah, no, that's interesting.
That I pre-ordered that Late Night with the Devil one because these Umbrella sets are pretty nice. Did you get the Talk to Me one?
I did not. No, I did order the restock on the Super Mario Brothers movie though. I like that one. I know it gets a lot of hate, but I was like, oh, that'd be a good one to have, and that was a pretty nice set they had with it. So
very colorful.
Still waiting on that one though.
The Talk to Me hand, like they took a long ass time to ship that out, and it went way past like the release date, and so they gave me like I think it was like a 25% off on my next purchase, and that's what I used for Late Night with the Devil. But then like I kind of wanted to get the audition set they released, and I just sort of slept on it because I got like laid off, and I was like, do I need to buy a bunch of shit that I already own the movie Audition, do I need to get this extra set? But I'm kind of bummed that I didn't actually.
Yeah, I saw somebody got the Tank Girl one they come out with, which I've never seen Tank Girl, but I missed when the Screen Factory or Shout Factory had that one too, but it went out.
I gotta go stick with horror, dude. I can't do like all the Super Mario stuff. I don't have the space, and I mean it's already like pretty,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's getting out of hand as well, as you can see behind me there. But
I got 4 shelves, and I need another one.
That's the thing with collectors. We are always running out of space, or
I watched the heck out of them
with what we put into our collection, I guess. But
yeah, I guess I haven't really. I kind of missed some like collecting stuff because I see some stuff that's coming out, and I'm like shit. But then at the same time, I'm like, I don't need to spend money to start a new pile over here because I don't have space for,
Yeah.
There's certain things like if Late Night with the Devil was, I liked it quite a bit. I thought it was really awesome. So when I saw that Umbrella was doing that, like the second I saw it, I had pre-ordered it.
Yeah, it was definitely. I think it lived up to the hype. I enjoyed it. I watched it streaming. So yeah, I'd like to get a physical copy.
Me too. It's just nice to have some IFCs on hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a Shudder movie too, an Australian film.
Nice.
I had wondered initially, Vinegar Syndrome's now started releasing, or they partner with IFC and with Shudder, and I didn't know if they were going to release it, but then I saw that Umbrella come out with it. So, but anyhow,
Well, that violent nature movie coming out, that one looks awesome too.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
There's a few movies that were coming out that look really good. That was one of them. Long Legs.
Yes.
Movie as well. I watched The Coffee Table. Have you guys seen that?
I have not.
I watched that one earlier. It was fucked up, but really good.
It's like John and Mary buy furniture together or something.
It's it's pretty dark subject matter, but it's really, really well done. It's just like a movie that makes you just like feel fucking like on edge the whole time. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But it's really well done.
I got you.
I'd highly recommend that to anyone who's not like a new parent. if you just like had a baby, then maybe don't watch that one. But
okay. Yeah.
postpartum problems.
Yeah, but it was a good one. Pretty thought provoking.
Well, I appreciate y'all joining us. It was a great discussion, guys, and
we'll see you guys.
See you again at the end of June, and I guess we'll close it out.
Rock star.
Close
it like a rock star.
All right. Oh, wrong one. I'll do my shows over there. Here we go.
Bye.
Bye-bye.